Okay, welcome everyone. So I wanted to make this video, and we'll try to keep it short, in relation to soul connections, twin flames, and other soul connections, because sometimes I uh, don't look at what's going on around on social media and elsewhere. And then when I have a little bit more time, I check what people write and what people are wondering. And some of it is absolutely horrifying. So I just wanted to have my take on this a little bit. And kind of explore the topic of when holding on to a soul connection becomes toxic, right? When holding on to your twin flame or soulmate or whatever it is becomes toxic. And there is so much of that out there that it's really surprising. It's almost as if people forget common sense as soon as someone tells them or they come to the realization, and maybe it's true, that, oh, it's my soulmate, it's my twin flame. And suddenly anything goes, right? So it's almost like, well, a normal person, I wouldn't allow to do this, but oh no, but it's my twin flame. I have to tolerate this. And so it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive, because one of the hallmarks of a soul connection, any soul connection, twin flame, karmic relationship, so anywhere where we have a soul contract, an agreement between two souls prior to incarnation, that they are going to be instrumental in each other's growth and learning process, right? That they are going to help each other, because all of us have come here, have incarnated to learn about love ultimately, right? It's what we do. And then there's different versions of love and different forms of love, and it can be love of a mother for a child and romantic love and etc., etc. And so we make those agreements with other souls, right? That they're going to teach us maybe about unconditional love, or maybe about loving yourself, or maybe about loving the others, right? And it can be romantic, it can be not romantic, it can be all kinds of things in between. And some of these loves are strong and all-encompassing, and that is true and perfectly valid. And so one of the hallmarks of a soul connection is that you can't forget them. You want to. You would very much love to go back to your normal life and go back to reality and, start living again like you used to. But you can't, because that hook is so strong, because it's a life-changing relationship, it's a life-changing connection. And so, of course, it has to penetrate to the very core of your being. It has to break your heart, tear you open completely. Otherwise, right, it would never do what it's supposed to do. It won't change you. It won't awaken you. It won't bring that soul level lesson, or whatever we like to call it, experience, upgrade, enlightenment. These soul connections, they create such a powerful hook, attraction, that we can't leave, right? There is it's irresistible. That's the key word, irresistibility. I would have loved to be normal. I understand that something crazy is going on with me, but it's irresistible from the spiritual perspective, or from the Akashic Records perspective. Again, there may be many answers, but I would say this is that hook, and the divine is the fisherman, right? That's what keeps you in the process. It's the beginning of a spiritual journey. It's not the end. And that's what starts the process of transformation. So this irresistibility, it's a hallmark of soul connection. You are pulled towards each other, and then maybe one runs away, right? And then the other one is left suffering, but he or she can't forget. It's just not going. And that because it's so uncomfortable, because it is so challenging, you want to get rid of the pain. So you have no choice but to work on yourself or die, right? Because it's the amount of pain that comes up. It's not, it's, beyond anything imaginable, especially in the case of twin flames. And that's how people get into this. Then, of course, we have another, which is really funny, another what would you call it, stream, right, where people say, well, when will I meet my twin flame? Based on what I have just told you, I would love to understand them. I would love to say something nice, but based on what I have just told you, how do you think I react to that question? When will I meet my twin flame? Well, I really hope never, right? Because who would want that? Who would consciously choose that? Now, spiritual awakening is a painful process in any case. Twin flame, or maybe you're dragged into spiritual awakening through a health crisis, or bankruptcy, or losing everything, or death, or some other change, confusion, and so on. These are usually the hooks, because the structure of the ego has to dissolve for us to be able to see reality as it is. So it's always a painful process, but it's not like we're going around and asking, oh, how can I have a spiritual awakening? Please send me the spiritual awakening. Well, again, it's kind of, in some circles, it's fashionable. Like, yes, I want spiritual awakening, but it's a surge. And that surge, it started by some painful experience. Maybe it's an internal conflict. Maybe it's just like, oh, I found a new teaching, or I found a new teacher, and I know it's going to destroy all my life, but I'm ready for it. I'm going into it. But it doesn't come as something you go around asking, 100 people, oh, I need a spiritual awakening, because how can I want to keep up with everyone else. They are all going around having spiritual awakenings, and I'm sitting here doing nothing, feeling left out. Well, and so this happens a lot in the soul connection field, let's say twin flame, whatever, where people hear that, oh, you have to have a twin flame to be kind of, spiritual, to be enlightened. And so where do I find my twin flame? And then another strain is, of course, where people are lonely. They are not satisfied. Maybe they live in a marriage which is loveless, and they recognize that, I chose this for convenience, and because that was comfortable for me, and because I don't really know how to live alone, and that's perfectly fine. And it's not like I hate my husband, right? But I realize by now that it's also not the deep love that you can have. And so when do I meet my twin flame? But the core of the question is not about twin flame. The core of the question is, right, I recognize that I don't have the love that can exist. I don't have love. And underneath it is, well, I chose this life. After all, hopefully nobody forced you to get married, right? You weren't threatened with a gun or death to get married. So there was a choice. And the root of this choice is that I actually recognize I don't love myself. So I want someone to validate all this love that I know exists deep in my heart, right? Within, underneath all those pretensions and comforts, but I don't have the power to manifest this love outwardly. And so I hope there will be someone who validates it. I have such a strong feeling that there is a twin flame for me out there, because I don't see it within me, right? I have to project, so I don't have the power. And that's a very valid, there is actually nothing wrong with that. I'm convinced there are, many thousands of people, maybe millions, who feel like this, because they just don't have that strength to find that love within. And it takes, it's a long and arduous journey. It's not like, oh yes, now I will teach you how to love yourself. Right? So everybody leaves loving themselves perfectly. Of course, there are teachings, of course, there are guidelines, of course, there are practices, right? It's both very simple, it happens in 1 second, and it takes years. So, but that's a different story. It has to do with enlightenment and spiritual awakening. But in terms of this question, right, when will I meet my soulmate? When will I meet my twin flame? But that's especially to do with twin flames. So it's either like, oh, I need a twin flame to validate my status, like I'm not spiritual enough without a twin flame. Like these days, right, you need to have a twin flame. you can't have anyone else. Or I recognize that the choices I made in my life, the marriages, the relationships, were based on lack, on not loving myself, but I don't have the power to transcend it yet. And so I see very strongly, I feel very strongly that there is a twin flame out there for me. And so then a person goes and asks different people, like, when will I meet my twin flame? When is there a twin flame out there? Do you see if there is a soul relationship out there for me? I can tell you at once that we make soul contracts with many people, with many soulmates. There is a possibility of choice. Some of those soulmates come into our life for a short while, some for a longer time, some can stay there forever if we choose to. But there is always, you can find what you are looking for, if that is a relationship that you're looking for. The problem is that some souls are actually not looking for a relationship. They are looking to heal those deep wounds of self-hatred, of rejection, of abandonment, right? Of that brokenheartedness that comes both from inner child and from the soul level. But they don't have the vocabulary to express it. And they think that a relationship will help them, right? But relationships don't work because the wounds remain. They tend to just repeat those wounds, just making them kind of more and more painful, because all relationships tend to follow the same pattern. And so then the person gets very angry, right? Starts going to whatever, psychics or readers, and says, well, why am I doomed to be alone for the rest of my life because I can't find my soulmate? Okay, then I don't even want a twin flame. Give me a soulmate at least. Do I have a soulmate? Well, of course you have soulmate. You have soulmates, but that's not the point. You can't choose a soulmate. Meaning, what the question is, do I have someone I can live happily with without having to change anything, remaining the way that I am? And the answer to this question is no. Remaining the way that you are, you're not going to find anyone, because you haven't been finding anyone before, right? But but that's kind of not how these questions are asked. And usually that's not how these questions are answered. I mean, I'd never told anyone something like this because it's, but ultimately, right, we just keep repeating the same patterns. You can meet a fantastic twin flame, whatever the other half of your soul, but the relationship will only bring out even deeper patterns of disempowerment and self-hatred, and it will just make them grotesque, almost like a caricature. So no soulmate and no twin flame is going to fix the root of the problem, right? Which can be, let's say, the pain of rejection or self-hatred, broken-hearted inner child abuse, and so on. So, but then again, it's not a judgment, because in a sense we're all in the same boat. It's just that for souls with well, I'd say more advanced souls with more experience, with more if you like, lifetimes behind them, or if you don't believe in past lives, just a different makeup. So for those souls, the wounding goes deeper, and they are very powerful creators. They can create and manifest very strongly, but they are also very powerful destroyers. So if their soul is looking for healing, they cannot manifest, let's say, that relationship, or cannot be aligned with that relationship that they want, because what they want is a projection of something that is outside of themselves. What the true desire is actually to find that core, that divinity within. So it depends on the soul path, and that's kind of, I'm answering a question that I haven't asked yet, but I guess that's an answer to a question. Well, why do other people find their soul connections so easily? Well, they find them because it's their level. And then what is happening now is that many people who have lived in a relationship for maybe 10, 20, 25 years, they're suddenly feeling like they just woke up, and they have no idea why they were doing it, and they know they want something else. So guess what? It's a collective awakening, because our relationship structures, the models of relationships that weren't working before, they are working, that were working before, they're not working now. But anyway, so back to the toxicity. Well, looking for a twin flame soulmate, right? When what is really happening is the realization that my models, my structures of reality are not working anymore, that I actually hate myself and I'm not comfortable with myself. That can be toxic enough, but ultimately it's a good thing. It pushes us on a path of self-discovery and healing, and it takes years, and that's fine. What is more problematic is that somehow for many people, what I've noticed is that the label of twin flame or soul connection, somehow, as I said in the beginning, it's somehow a justification for staying in an abusive or dysfunctional relationship. Like, it's not working, but I can't let them go. And so I'll stay in this relationship. And then, oh, well, they must be my soulmate or karmic. But the reason, at least from my perspective, working with energetic healing, with Akashic records, with, soul level healing, and so on. The problem is that it's that hook, right? It's this reminder that tells you, oh, time to heal. If this is happening in your life, you need to heal, because what you've just attracted, or let's say the two of you attracted, the two of you came together, right? And you can't let go. You like go back and forth, and it's a relationship that is kind of dysfunctional, but it's also very powerful, and it's a strong catalyst, and so on. It shows you where you need to heal. Like exactly right now, it's always in the now. I am feeling abandoned now. That's it. That's what you have to deal with, right? My abandonment. It can be memories from the inner child. It can be soul level memories. And you start draining that well, one bucket at a time. What, of course, we don't want to heal. We don't want to do that, right? So we just say, oh, all right, so it's a soul connection. I met my twin flame. And so now I have to stay with them forever, no matter what, right? Because they say it's unconditional love. And we're going through the stage. And there will be a next stage. And it will go on forever and ever and ever. And I can't have another relationship because, well, how can I have that? It's my twin flame. I can't just leave my twin flame. What are you kidding me? So I'm going to stay here forever, being miserable, whatever, working on myself or trying to heal my twin, or just being miserable for years and years and years, because that's my reality now, right? And I'm not negating the pain, which is horrible because it hits exactly where it hurts. But what I'm saying is that there is like this program that is running, that if I call my relationship a soul connection, then somehow it means I have to stay in it forever, because it's such a strong collective program that says, you are supposed to have a soulmate. You have to look for your soulmate. It comes from this story of the creation of man, right? Who was first created man and woman and then separated in half. And so you have to look for that other half. Well, that creation story, it refers to a universal man before the fall. It has very wide range of interpretation, and we're not going to go in there now. But your soul is not separated into half. You are complete. The divine didn't throw you in with half a soul, making you look for that other half. But even then, okay, it's fine. It's good to look for the other half. We don't know all the answers. Nobody knows like all truths. Together, collectively, we have all truth. But individually, we have pieces of it, right, that come together. That's fine. And maybe we go look for that other half, for something that doesn't complete us, and then eventually we find it within. And without as well. It can be both, right? Outside and within. That's all good. But the problem is that the other half, somehow having that other half somehow justifies every imaginable toxic behavior. The word unconditional love, the phrase unconditional love, it becomes synonym for tolerating all kinds of abuse, emotional abuse, maybe physical abuse, right? Maybe your twin is cheating on you. And, there are people writing, oh, I'm done with twin flames. I am so out of all this nonsense. My twin flame is seeing someone else and is in a relationship with someone else. I don't believe in twin flames anymore. What does one thing have to do with the other? But there is the concept that, oh, your twin flame or your soulmate can never hurt you, right? They have to be perfect. They will come. Again, there is this projection. There will be the one, right? Who, the one, whatever that, the one who is going to fulfill you, who is going to help you, who is going to complete you. And so, of course, they never fail to disappoint. they will they will try. Look, every one of us has this evil double. The legend says that it was assigned to us at the creation, right? The other, that baboon in Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. If you remember the magician card, there is this baboon right here and there. That's this evil double. And when we come in a relationship, when we have a relationship with someone, eventually that evil double comes out. And so we see each other for who we really are. So we have to work with work with that evil double, kind of submit it. It's ego is part of it, right? But it's a soul level thing. And so, of course, and imagine if it's a twin flame. Let's assume, for argument's sake, that it's the other half of your soul. Imagine that evil double, right? So it's a very intimate knowledge, but it's also bigger than whatever, because then you really see who you are. And so that evil double comes very, very close. And twins, they never fail to disappoint. So personally, I mean, it's not my experience that twins can't hurt each other. Oh, they hurt each other so well. They report each other to the police. They go to workplace and tell everyone about what an asshole he is and what he did to me. They tell the friends, they spread rumors, they break hearts, they cheat, they leave, they steal. So I don't believe that for a moment. Why not? Are twin flames not human? Don't they have evil doubles? Are they what, God incarnate? I don't believe in that. Yes, there is a soul level truth. Yes, at the soul level, there is unconditional love. Yes, the soul level connection is perfect. But when we reach spiritual maturity, we have to accept that our reality is not either or, it is both and. Right? The sun that gives life to everything that is on earth, it can also kill us if we're stuck in the desert for 10 hours with no water. We'll be dead. It's the same sun. And so our reality is not either or. And one of the things twin flame connection has come to bring is to end the experience of separation and duality. So that's the first thing you're going to see, is the evil double. And so imagine, right? The twin flame never hesitates to disappoint. Oh, you thought you will have an ideal love. Well, there you go, darling. Everything you were afraid of, I'll give it to you on a silver platter. Here, enjoy. And it's horrible, right? It's disappointing. So of course they will cheat. Of course they will. Now, the problem is, what am I going to do about it? And that's really why I wanted to say something in connection with this, because I mean, it's not about being disappointed or about, oh no, I give up on twin flames. You still haven't addressed the root issue. The root issue is this, is lack of self-love, is that I am faced with a reality that my mind cannot comprehend. And instead of surrendering my mind and saying, okay, I don't understand anything, what do I do? How do I heal? Please help me, whoever there is up there or down there or in between, help me. Right? I want to heal. I surrender. And that's the first stage to renewal, awakening, union, and etc. But instead of saying that, also, my ideal world, is not so ideal. Well, shame. I guess I'll just look for another twin flame. Or because we are so afraid of losing light, so deprived of love, so deprived of light, we put up with anything, absolutely anything, right? If my twin wants to come to me once a month to have, excuse me, a quickie, and then disappear with no communication, no contact, that's it. Oh, fine. I'll accept it, right? It's okay. It's okay. I'll take that. Because after all, I mean, that's my twin. That's my experience of the divine. I'll take it. It's horrible. I understand it, but I can't say no. I just can't. And I don't mean it as a judgment. It's very normal, actually. It just shows how much we are deprived of light, of love, in what lack, profound lack, profound, darkness parts of our souls live. And that may be the reason for your incarnation. Maybe you were a very advanced scholar and magician and spiritual teacher and guide and monk and nun. And maybe you were whatever, Matthew, the gospel writer in your past life. But there is also a part of your soul that is stuck in darkness. So you have that spiritual awareness and you have that spiritual vision to recognize that's your soul connection. But you also need to heal the part of you that is absolutely deprived, absolutely stuck, absolutely horrified of losing that little divine light that it has. And this part comes on board in the soul connection. And this part needs healing. There will be no union. There will be no magic ending to the story until you do it in this life or the next one. But I can promise you there'll be no reunion or whatever it is, happily ever after, as long as you're looking for it. And then but for many soul connections, things don't maybe get so deep, so piercing, so challenging. They're like at a maybe less heart-breaking and bone-breaking frequency. But again, they bring up the same issues, right? All the dependency, the codependency. So bottom line, if it is a soulmate connection, if it is a twin flame connection, and everything that is within you tells you, no, that's not the way to treat me. It can take some people years to recognize that, oh, the fact that I'm in love with you doesn't give you an excuse to take me like, to treat me like shit, right? And sometimes it's like a revelation. Oh my goodness, what have I been doing for the past 3 years or 5 years or 10 years? Why? Why did I allow that? Only on the premise that I love you, that this is some kind of, even worse, if it's just a conviction that it is a twin flame love. There is no connection between the two. If somebody treats you like crap, it doesn't matter if they're the other half of your soul, or they are whatever, Jesus, the second coming of Jesus, or whoever it is, or a reincarnation of whoever. But it doesn't matter. And we don't know why they're treating it. It doesn't matter either why they're treating us the way they're treating us. What matters is what we are going to do with it. And if you are not happy with it, if you don't like people cheating on you or lying to you or yelling at you or taking your, I don't know, money or your car, or bringing people into your home without asking, or whatever it is, or coming to you once a month for a quickie, then your work is to find the strength, build the strength, and then ask for strength, and then tell them goodbye. I don't care if you're a twin flame or not, but you must go, because this is no way to treat me. And then you might need 3 years of healing or 10 years of healing, and that's fine. But you say no. That's no way to treat me. And in my own practice as well, the people who've done that, the people who said this, who said, okay, I'm done, this is it. No, this relationship, the way it is, it's not going to work. If we are to come again, it will have to come together again, it would have to be on different premises, right? From a completely different starting point. And that's where we can go. Until then, no, I'm going to do my healing. If it takes me 2 years, 5 years, that's fine. I'll just take one every day as it comes. But no, it doesn't matter. Well, I know it sounds simple. Believe me, I've been there. It sounds simple when your heart and soul is in turmoil, and when it's like, oh, this is the only chance I'll ever have. Now the work is to dig deep, to dig into this place. That's where soul level healing comes in, because these soul connections, they activate the soul. So it's not just the inner child, right? They dig deep into the places where your soul feels like it's so deprived of light that I have to hold on. I cannot let go. I would have loved to, believe me, I understand intellectually, but I cannot let go of this light, because they can give it to me. Without them, I can't function. They are healing me, they are helping me, and I can't let go. And for as long as you can't let go, you're stuck. Trust me, you're stuck. No, it's not going to change. You are stuck for as long as you can't let go. It doesn't matter if they're your twin flame. It doesn't matter if they're your soulmate. No, they're not a karmic connection. No, they're not a false twin. It doesn't matter. If you can't let go, you are stuck. And how to let go? Well, it's to start healing and to work on it a lot, to go as deep as you never went before. And most people won't even teach you or tell you how deep you have to go, is to meet the parts of yourself that feel deprived, completely deprived, kicked out of paradise, abandoned by God, never deserving of light again. It's meeting those parts. And once you have connected to both the light and the darkness, the pain will leave, and you'll be able to rebuild your life and your relationships on a different level. And finally, before I finish, there is also someone asked on social media also, well, I stopped feeling my twin flame. Does it mean it's over? And again, maybe, for those of you who have been feeling their twin flame, you're going to laugh. Because who wants to feel other people, right? Who wants to feel their presence with you at all times? Your own presence is enough. Now you have to feel others. But as you see, it's not so simple. You stop feeling your twin flame and you're horrified. Oh my God, it must be over. And the only question I really had was like, wow, why? Why do you need to hold on to feeling them? Do you see where I'm going with it? Like, I stopped feeling my twin flame. Oh, thank God. Wonderful. Now we can build our relationship or live with the lack of it, right? On normal premises where I could actually breathe and think and meditate and not feel my twin flame all the time. Oh, I stopped feeling my twin flame. Oh dear, what am I going to do without my suffering? So there is that other aspect where, where we hold on to suffering, where we say, no, I can't let go. I can't let go because I have to suffer. I have to feel my truth. So and again, it's that same paradigm, right? I feel so deprived of light, so deprived of love, so deprived of God that even when this God is mean to me, doesn't talk to me, so often those twin flame relationships reflect our idea of God, right? Oh, God appears once a month for a few minutes and then disappears. Well, what to do? It's God, right? He's never here. He never listens. He's never around. He doesn't have time for me, right? God has other things to do. So I'll just take the crumbs from the table, right? Not knowing. And so, I stopped feeling God. Oh my goodness, the dark night of the soul. I am devastated. You have crushed my bones, right? My bones hurt. The dark night of the soul has occurred, and it's a horrible experience. Again, it's not to invalidate. And I have experienced it too, and it's horrible. It's horrible when you feel it, when you feel, oh, I have no light to hold on to. It's horrible. But the ego has to take a little bit of humor. And as they say, mock the devil and he will run away from you. So we have to laugh at the ego to be able to move forward. And so there is that part that says, no, but even if that God was treating me horribly, now he has withdrawn his presence completely, right? I don't feel my twin. It's a reflection of this relation. I want to feel God, right? Maybe even I don't believe in God intellectually, but I want to feel God. There is still some concept of God. And so twin flame comes in, replaces that God. And now I don't feel God, and it's horrible. So it means it's over, right? And then, of course, the mind interprets, because you don't really think that twin flame is actually God. So then the mind interprets it, well, then it must be that the relationship is over. Well, no, it means you've been liberated. Finally, you are free to work on yourself, to breathe, to live, to look around, to enjoy, not feeling. Why would you want to feel someone else? But there is that clinging, right? The fear. So ultimately, I'll end it here. These soul connections, deep soul connections, whatever you call them, twin flame soulmates, they are a mirror. No matter what people say, they do exist. They are real. But they are not something that, conforms to our romantic ideals. They're mirrors of our soul, of our wounds, and of our spiritual highs and of our lowest lows. They will reflect all of it to us. They're beautiful. They're incredible. They're not meant as just a spiritual experience. No, they're meant to be lived fully. If it's a relationship, then enjoy it. If it's not, enjoy it too. They're meant to be lived. They are meant to be tools for healing at whatever they bring up at any given moment. But they have nothing to do with the constructs of our egos and our minds. And that's the problem. So please, if you believe you have a soul connection, if you have a soul connection, twin flame, whatever karmic, please do not rescue them. Do not save them. Do not hold on to feeling them. Do not ask them to heal you. Start bringing back all that energy towards yourself. I know it's a very long journey of healing where many layers have to be uncovered, like peeling an onion until you get to the core of your being. And it's not an easy journey, but please do not tolerate abuse. And do not change your boundaries just because you call someone a twin flame. You remain you, and what's acceptable to you doesn't change because of feelings or labels. Okay, with that, thank you so much for listening. And if you need to contact me for a healing session or a reading, then also you'll find the information below the video. Thank you.